My mom was 16 when she fell pregnant. She was young, naive, and the boy, also naive, very young at 18. He denied it, of course. His family, they didn't want anything to do with the pregnancy, and so she was utterly left alone in this world. Welcome to Raised by One. This channel exists solely because of one woman, my mother, who raised me alone. She was abused, rejected, neglected. She carried a load that no one should ever carry alone. She was my pillar. She was everything I would ever wish for in a mother. And she is still my best mom ever. For the most part of my life, this story have been hidden, maybe out of shame, and I've carried the pain all my life. I've decided to share it here in this space because I know that there are people who might have lived something similar to what I'm going to share here. And if you have experienced anything like this, if you know someone who have experienced anything like this, like what I'm going to share, this channel is dedicated solely for you. So let's go back to the beginning. My mom was a young girl living with her parents. When she was 16, because of poverty, she was asked to go live with distant relatives in town who were doing better. And so she left to an unknown area with an unknown family. She became a house girl. Her job, cleaning, washing, preparing food, taking care of the kids, and any other thing you could think of. Of course, she was a house girl. And then around the neighborhood lived another boy who was also a house boy, learning carpentry. And so, youths, they got to know, they connected. And from connection, something happened and she fell pregnant. Now imagine a 16-year-old being pregnant. All right. So when she found out she was pregnant, of course, she did what any other person would do. She went to the boy and told him that she was pregnant. Out of fear, maybe social stigma, the boy denied it. And when he got to the family, his family also denied it, and they didn't want anything to do with her pregnancy. So she was left alone, disappointed, in the pains. And so when the family she was staying with, when they found out that she was pregnant, you would think, okay, in this family there is a mother, there is a father, and they should understand, right? No. She was beaten. She was humiliated. She was disgraced. And finally, she was sent back to the village where she came from. And you will say, oh, thank God, they've sent her to her people. At least her mother should comfort her. At least she was coming to her father, her mother, and her siblings, and they should, they should welcome her and figure how to take care of that, right? That wasn't the case at all. When she got back to the village, her mother made her a laughingstock. Her siblings, they castigated her. And her father, of course, she has brought disgrace to the family, and so he didn't want anything to do with her. And so it was from one bad treatment to the other. Verbal abuse, beating at any slight mistake, and insult upon insult every day. And finally, when they couldn't bear it, they bundled her back to her grandmother, which is now my great-grandmother. And so you would think an older mother should understand, right? Yeah, that wasn't it. Right at Granny's place, she received insults daily. They would tell her how useless she is, how she was so corrupt, how she's a whore, how she went to Instead of her to focus on the job they asked her to do and bring money home, she went to spread her legs for some boy. And then how she's unwanted, how she's carrying a bastard, how she's a disgrace to the family, Every day she was subjected to that treatment. Sometimes she will starve, sometimes she'll be given food. And mind you, this is a pregnant teenager who doesn't know anything about pregnancy. There was no antenatal, there was no doctor checkups, there was no hospital checkups, nothing. She was just left like that, only living by the grace of God. As time went on, it continued until it was time to deliver. And you would think, oh, let's take her to the hospital since she doesn't know anything, right? No. She was left at home. And so she delivered at home. She gave birth to her baby in her grandmother's room, attended to by local women. And by the providence of the Almighty, she delivered successfully. She and the child, they were healthy. And I am that child. Yes, I am the product of unwanted pregnancy. Yeah, that's what they call us. Or will I say I am the B word, as they refer to us? Yeah, I am that child. So, after delivery, I was cleaned up and I was taken from her immediately and sent to my grandma, who at the time had a baby, though 7 months older than me, but she was still breastfeeding. So I was taken to my grandma. And after 3 days, like I learned later, my mother was asked to go out again to go look for work. That she needed to work and get money and send money home for my upkeep, for my milk, my clothes and food. Even now in the 2026, when a child falls pregnant, the society still mocks her. The family still feel ashamed. Even now, that stigma still exists. Now imagine what it was like in the 1980s. Yeah, it was hell. Nobody wanted anything to do with you. And the child, of course, she was like a disgrace to the family. You carry anywhere you go, you wear the shame of the family on your face. And so growing up was not easy. Although as a child I wouldn't know. But when I grew up, I was told by my distant aunties who were there that at times when it comes to feeding time, that when the other child will receive 3 spoons of milk, I'll be fed just 1 spoon. No? And when we soil the pampers, why she might change up to 3 to 4 times a day, I would just wear that 1 diaper from morning till evening. And then I would just be showered once a day. Sometimes I don't even get showered at all. As a mom now, seeing my kids, the way I shower them, the way I pamper them, sometimes I would just stop to imagine what it's like wearing a diaper from morning to night with all the poop, all the wee, and then being hungry as a 10-month-old, as a 1-year-old. So I'm not here because I was loved or taken care of. No. I'm here because God wanted me to be here, and the universe wanted me to be here. So I am grateful for that. Somehow the forces wanted me alive. Because if not, with such treatments, I should have starved to death. I should have even died by infection or something. But I'm here, married with kids, right? Having my own house. So God wanted me to be here. Sorry. So back to the story. So I grew up thinking my grandma was actually my mom. Yeah. My first words was mom, and it was my grandma. When I see kids talking about their early childhood, how their daddy would take them to the parks, their mom bought them such clothes, how they will go visiting the park, how they will go to this place, go to that place, travel to this place. I don't relate because I can't relate. I didn't have that experience. The experiences I had as a child growing up were, I remember me sitting down, I would always sit down at a corner eating alone. And then I remember sometimes when my grandpa, of course, it was a polygamous home. My grandma was the third wife. So I will always remember when grandpa comes home from maybe meeting or something, and then he will bring something like biscuit or meat or something, and then all the grandkids will run to him to get a part of it. And also, as a child, maybe around 3, 4, I will also run to him to get it. Then he will start sharing. Because he's a man, he will want to give me, but the other wives will push me aside. And then I will always stay outside and be looking, you know, with the mind of a child. Sometimes I will cry, but I never understood. Because even up to then, I didn't understand what was happening. And I mean, what child at 3 or 4 or even 5 will understand that she's a disgrace or that she's the product of unwanted pregnancy? What child would understand that? No child will understand that. So I will always feel alone. I always have this desire of belonging. I always long for affection, but I don't get it. I don't get it. And I always wonder if I had done something bad. I always think I washed the plates, I swept the floor. Why are they not giving me meat? Why are they not giving me fish? What did I do? And I always call my grandma, mommy, mommy, please give me. And then she would toss me aside. I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know. I never knew until I grew up. And there was one day when I was 7. Papa came home. And I was telling Papa, please give me biscuits. And then the second grandma said, go and look for your grandpapa. Papa is not your papa. Stop calling him Papa. And I was, no, he's my papa. He's Mama's husband, so he's my papa. He will give me biscuit. What do I know at 7? Then Papa said, I am not your papa. Go and look for your papa to give you biscuits. Stop disturbing me. And I felt like the ground left my feet. Who would have thought at 7 I will hear those words when all my life I've believed that this is my family, that this is my papa, and this is my mama. And when he said that word, I ran to my mama, who is my grandma. I said, Mama, see what Papa said? He said he's not my papa. Come and tell him to give me biscuit because he's my papa. He doesn't want to give me biscuit, and then he said he's not my papa. Mama looked at me and said, yes, Papa said the truth. He's not your papa. I was left utterly speechless. And all my life, Even while as an adult, a single lady, no matter what I do, no matter how happy I am, each time I think back and I remember this scene, I feel bad. Even as I'm talking, even as I'm telling you this story, I just recall this scene. I still remember. I feel so bad. I feel so hot. I feel so pain. I mean, what was my crime? Was it being born? It wasn't my father that denied the pregnancy. And it wasn't my mother that got pregnant. Why should I suffer it? I mean, and this is not just to me alone. There are millions of kids worldwide suffering the same fate. Is it not high time we stopped? Mothers, is it not high time you stopped stigmatizing your daughters just for falling pregnant? Yes, they are not supposed to, but it has happened. Why don't you just give them a supporting hand? Why don't you support them? Because it's not even easy. Ordinarily, even with your love, they are still ashamed of your peers. Going to school, don't you think they are ashamed? Do you think they are proud? Why making the things worse? Why making it worse? Back to my story. So, apparently, my mom, she has, in these 7 years, she has moved on. Meanwhile, I have no relationship with her whatsoever. I don't know. I know she comes and goes, but she doesn't relate to me as a mom. No, there's no mother and daughter relationship, nothing. There's no affection at all. So I've never in my life thought that she was my mother. I always call my grandma mom. And so along the line, she got married to another man. Yeah, and even while I was 7, she already had 2 babies or more. And one day, I was told, okay, you're going to live with, according to what I call her, Auntie Nana. You are going to live with her and help her to take care of her kids. So I was happy that I was even leaving this place, and maybe Auntie Nana will love me. Maybe Auntie Nana's husband, I will call him daddy. I'm going to meet another daddy and another mommy. Maybe my life will be a lot better. Maybe. And so I got ready and I was shipped to Auntie Nana's house. What happened and my experience with her, my mom, you will find out in part 2 of the video. So if you want to know what happened, please subscribe to this channel, Raised by One. Drop me a comment if you resonate with my story, and I promise I'll reply. Share please to some people you know that are maybe that have lived through this kind of life, and let's build a community where we can be strong for each other. Watch out for part 2 of my story. Put up your notification so that you know when I drop the next video. Until next week when I will bring the part 2 of this story. Stay strong and be safe. Bye.